لبيروت من قلبي سلام لبيروت وقبل للبحر والبيوت لصخرة.
Beirut, Beirut, glory from ashes for Beirut. Lebanon's national song bemoans a city that almost destroyed itself. From 1975 to 1990, the Lebanese people turned on each other. Now Lebanon survivors are preparing for another dramatic turn in history. They want the removal of Syria's army, here for the last 30 years under the guise of keeping the peace.
The Syrians are, dealing like the old-fashioned Soviet Union regimes. They rule the country, imposing the reign of terror.
Newspaper editor and aspiring politician Gebran Tueni is about to have one of the most extraordinary days of his life. Something rare for the Arab world is happening, an explosion of people power. This rally was unthinkable just a few weeks ago.
When we talk about fighting for democracy, fighting for freedom, it isn't only word. We know what it is. We know the smell of the blood, the smell of dynamite. We know what a gun means. We know what threatening you mean. They only can kill you. And we know that sometime we'll be assassinated.
During the Civil War, Martyrs Square separated Muslim West Beirut from the Christian East. On this day, the followers of all religions have come together to rally against what they believe is a sinister force in Lebanese affairs.
We are just witnessing history of Lebanon.
No one will ever know exactly how many are here, but perhaps 1 million have gathered to call for the end of Syrian control, the withdrawal of its troops and its reviled security police. They also want to see the end of the puppet government installed by Damascus. Parliamentary candidate Gebran Tueni is about to have his moment in the sun.
بدنا كلنا سوا الحقيقة وبدنا السيادة الحقيقية وبدنا الاستقلال كل الاستقلال بلا مخابرات ولا عسكر ولا حكومة ظلم.
These people have found new courage beneath a national flag that bears the noble cedar tree. They're emboldened by an event in February that shook this nation to its core. Billionaire Rafic Hariri helped rebuild Beirut from the rubble. A man with formidable friends and powerful connections, Hariri played politics and big business with the Syrians, Saudis and others. Prime Minister for the better part of a decade, his decision to stand down in protest against Syrian domination was to be a passage to martyrdom. He and 19 others were killed in a massive car bomb on the Beirut Corniche.
Most people here believe this was Syria's attempt to frighten and intimidate them and stop them from agitating. If that was the case, it was to be a monumental miscalculation.
After the killing of Rafic Hariri, the anger inside the Lebanese show up and they cry liberation, because before they were afraid. And now they think that they will not be afraid anymore because it's It's full. They are full of Syria. They can't bear it anymore.
It seems everyone you meet here can tell a story about the Syrians, and their presence goes back a long way.
I remember the voice of the Syrian coming to my village. I still hear them till now, their voice.
Lena Ghorayeb was only a small child in the 1980s when Syrian troops arrived at her Maronite Christian village.
They go into the houses, and kill all the families who was there. We ran away. Miracle that we weren't killed.
The Syrians never went home, and Lena Ghorayeb was to encounter them again long after they killed her family.
I was a student, and I always criticized Syria and asked Syria to go out from Lebanon.
For agitating, Lena was arrested, detained, beaten and sexually assaulted. The prison was in Lebanon, but the interrogators, she says, were Syrians.
They beat me, they beat us a lot. They start beating us, and they took us, they blind our eyes, and they put me in the car, my head between my legs, and they took me to a place I don't know where. I scratched him on his face. He beat me, and he obliged me to take off my pants.
But there's more to this conflict than the flag frenzy in Beirut. Several times a day, Syrian cabbie Hassan Nabulsi makes the run from Beirut to Damascus. It's less than a 2-hour trip between the capitals of tiny Lebanon and big brother Syria next door.
أغلبية الشعب هن شعب طيب، والشعب السوري والشعب اللبناني عائلة واحدة بدك تقول، يعني ما فيك تقول انه فيهم فرق بين بعضهم، لا بالعكس، اكثر العادات اكثر التقاليد بين بعضهم هي وحده.
The town of Zahle in the Beqaa Valley. And what people here say about the Syrians goes well beyond the rally slogans.
The Syrians tell the Lebanese decision makers what to do, and the Lebanese do accordingly.
The people of Zahle know the real Syrian menace is unseen. This unobtrusive building houses the Lebanese Justice Ministry, the police station and an office of Syrian intelligence, a veritable one-stop shop.
There's something else significant about this place. The Beqaa Valley is where thousands of Syrian troops have been redeployed. Others have gone all the way on the road to Damascus. But most Lebanese people are cynical. They just don't believe that all Syrian troops will be out of their country before the coming election.
Syria's president has promised to withdraw his troops. In the meantime, Syrian soldiers await further orders in small camps near the border. There's nothing much to do, but their presence here has been little more than symbolic for the last 15 years. The soldiers might have outlived their welcome, but the people of the Beqaa Valley are putting other Syrians to work. A country of only 4 million Lebanese supports another 1 million Syrian workers and their families. Many are labourers on wages Lebanese would refuse. It cuts both ways. Syrian workers like Abu Muhammad Alwan are paid more here than at home.
بالنسبة للشعب اللبناني والشعب السوري قلب واحد بجسد واحد ما يتفرع عن بعضه أهل سوريا للبنانيين ولبنان للسوريين نحن أهل وما نرضى أي شيء يتدخل بشؤوننا لا إن كان أوروبي فرنسي ولا إن كان أمريكي.
The Beqaa Valley is where Western kidnap victims were hidden during the Civil War. It's still Lebanon's fruit bowl and its breadbasket. Practically every family has both Lebanese and Syrian members, but the Syrian influence here is also measured in trade and business. Nasser Madarani owns 6 farms and is head of his local co-op. Lebanese landowners have exported 40,000 tonnes of potatoes to Syria in the last few years. And while Nasser and his fellow farmers suffer from the flood of cheap imported produce from Syria, he says it's all fair trade.
طبيعي نحن كمزارعين نحتاج إلى العمالة السورية ونحتاج إلى بعض المواد والأدوية اللي بنجيبها من سوريا.
So when you watch the television at night and you see hundreds of thousands of people in Beirut saying Syria out, what do you think?
طبعا يمكن أنا من الناس اللي كانوا بالمظاهرة يوم الاثنين ومن الناس اللي شاركت بالمظاهرة كان عندي مطلب واحد هو معرفة الحقيقة من قتل رفيق الحريري.
The Beqaa Valley soon gives way to the mountains of the anti-Lebanon range, and Damascus lies just beyond. It's a very easy border to cross if you're Syrian or Lebanese. It's Syria's way of saying there's nothing really much between us. But seemingly a world away, this is the place ruled with an iron fist by President Bashar Assad.
I don't think the world is worried about Syrian troops in Lebanon.
The president's polished and urbane Minister for Expatriate Affairs is well versed in the biggest talking point of all. So Syrian intelligence agents didn't kill Rafic Hariri?
Of course not.
Well, do you know who did?
I don't know who killed John Kennedy. You know, we don't know who killed JF Kennedy until now. How could we know who killed Rafic Hariri? But we are certainly most interested in knowing. It's very important. It's in the interest of Syria and of Lebanon to find out who killed Rafic Hariri. There's an international, group that is looking at the issue, and we're waiting for the results.
Syria still has many friends in Lebanon, and this is where they live. Far from the plush cafe scene of central Beirut, the southern suburbs are the heartland for Shiite Muslims. Syria is winning hearts and minds here by pouring millions of dollars into schools and hospitals. The streets are ruled by Hezbollah, or Party of God, and today its followers are heading to the American embassy. Ghalib Abu Zainab is a senior member of Hezbollah's political bureau.
كما أن هذه المسيرة دعت إلى حوار داخلي بين اللبنانيين وهذه المسيرة أرادت أن تقول كذلك أنها كذلك تريد أن تقول لسوريا شكرا على ما قدمته للبنان.
Although it maintains a well-armed and feared militia, there's not a gun in sight. They, like the anti-Syrian demonstrators, wave the national flag. This has become a contest to see who is more Lebanese.
طبعا نحن سوريا ساعدتنا، لكن ليس على اساس ان تبقى بشكل دائم في لبنان. نحن لدينا يعني مسألة أساسية، أننا نحن حريصون جدا على سيادة لبنان وعلى قراره، وعلى أن اللبنانيون جميعا يتعاونوا في حكم بلدهم مع بعضهم البعض.
With the likely departure of Syria's troops, Hezbollah too has vowed to help heal the wounds of bitter division and play its part in a new democratic Lebanon.
As much as the Islamic resistance in Lebanon is here, we are all happy, and we're not afraid from our future.
But there are so many different groups in this country, aren't there? Christians, Palestinians, Sunnis, Shia.
And the Islamic resistance is not for a part. It's all because Lebanon is not for the Islam, and it's for the whole country. And also it's for the Christians, it's not for the Islam.
If there's to be lasting peace in Lebanon, then it's vital there's reconciliation between Hezbollah and the other dominant force, the Christians. At this Maronite church, Catholics pray for Rafic Hariri, the slain Sunni former Prime Minister who's united old enemies and turned them against Syria. The spiritual leader of the Maronites is Patriarch Nasrallah Boutros-Sfeir. When he calls Syria out from the pulpit, he finds that powerful people want to listen. Is there a risk that if Syria pulls out, there'll be more instability here, problems from Hezbollah, other groups?
No, I don't know, because there is no interest to anyone that there will be trouble in Lebanon. And even Hezbollah, he has a great number of Lebanese in his ranks, but I don't know. There is no interest for nobody to make trouble in Lebanon.
In Lebanon, everyone has a past, and most people have long memories. On this day, the Patriarch is meeting with 23-year-old Nadim Jamail. He holds no public office yet, but politics is in his blood. The family name is associated with martyrdom.
We resist to the Syrians 22 years. They killed my father, they killed my sister, and now we are still resisting.
In 1982, when Nadim was just 4 months old, his father, Bashir Jamail, was assassinated just weeks after he was elected president.
We all understand that we cannot anymore live in a war situation. We all want now to live in peace. We all want to live in a free Lebanon. We all want to decide for ourselves our future.
For crusading newspaper publisher Gebran Tueni, a future without Syria will almost certainly mean a seat in a new parliament and the prospect of a much longer life.
The newspaper have been bombarded 4 times. We've had also bombs and dynamite in the print plants 3 times. We have more than 6 journalists who have been killed, assassinated. I've been shot twice, kidnapped once, and in exile once in 1990 for 3 years.
Gebran Tueni, like most Lebanese, see the Syrians as brothers and sisters, but their sibling relationship has become anything but neighbourly.
Syria is using Lebanon, yes, bleeding Lebanon. Syria does not want Lebanon to die, because Syria thinks that as long as Lebanon can live, but not really be strong enough to be completely independent, it's okay. They can use Lebanon.
The Lebanese people say that they won't be happy until all of the troops are gone.
All the troops will be back to Syria as soon as logistically possible.
Can you guarantee that?
Absolutely. The president guaranteed that. It's not just me. The president guaranteed that. We will have all our troops back in Syria and our intelligence. But the Syrian people and Lebanese people have much more in common than the troops. We're two Arab countries, two neighborly countries, and I think the Lebanese need Syria just as much as Syria needs Lebanon.
Lebanon's Cedar Revolution seems unstoppable. The elections amount to a referendum on the Syrian presence and influence in this country. The man who reconstructed Lebanon after years of civil war has become an even more potent force in death than during his lifetime. The challenge for the people who revere him is to close this chapter of history and move on to a new era of nation building.
دمعة الأمهات